Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here, and it's time for the Orns Friday Focus on Watford versus Blackpool, taking place tomorrow at Vicarage Road on Graham Taylor match day. Graham Taylor passed away several years ago on January the 12th, just a couple of days before this game a few years ago. And the greatest ever Watford manager's presence with us, around us, and in our minds and in our hearts will certainly be another heartwarming thing for Watford fans to hold on to in this game that's taking place tomorrow at the Vic. Now, Watford will have to play a whole lot better on this very important occasion than they did a year ago when they took on Norwich at Vicarage Road, and we all know what happened then a year ago in the Premier League. But Watford will be looking for revenge against Blackpool, and hopefully this time around they can accomplish that. They did not do so against Millwall after what Millwall did to Watford back in October, and perhaps a second bite of the tangerine, as it were, will be the tonic for Watford in this game against Blackpool tomorrow. Blackpool beat Watford in October by a score of 3-1. It was a game in which Watford's goal came from Imran Louza, an equalizer, after an early Blackburn goal. And then it was all Blackburn in the space of about 15 minutes as they ended up winning by that 3-1 score. And their danger man is Jerry Yates, I believe is his name. He scored more goals for Blackpool than anyone else at last count. Blackpool would play a 4-3-3. Watford will have to be wary about Blackpool because even though Blackpool are in the bottom three in the championship table, they still can be a very dangerous team, and they've drawn all 4 of their last 4 championship games. Now, granted, they've not won in the championship since late October. That was a 2-1 victory at Coventry, but they still are a team that carries a threat, and they do have some very lively players that Watford will have to keep their eyes on, but particularly Yates, because he is their danger man, as I've said. Now, Watford will have the injury list of injury lists, and they continue to have that, as Leandro Bacuna was also a player that came off injured in the FA Cup game against Reading, would you believe? And so more injuries for Watford, but they are expected to get Hamza Chowdhury back. He missed a few weeks after the injury he suffered against Hull City in the first 5 minutes of that game at the Vic a few weeks ago. It would be great to have him back and expect to see him back. Also, Watford new signing Mateus Martins is expected to play some kind of role in this game on Saturday at the Vic, but the game will come too soon for the likes of Ido Kayembe and Keenan Davis, both of whom are sidelined with injuries. Keenan Davis, by the way, is sick. It's the second time this season that Keenan Davis has fallen ill, and I do wish him a speedy recovery. He was excellent in the game against Norwich before he had to come out with an injury. So those 2 players also miss tomorrow, as do the extended injury list of players who've been out for a prolonged period of time. But hopefully Hamza Chowdhury will be able to play a part in this game, and he's expected to tomorrow. Now, Watford, to win this game and to get revenge against the Tangerines, what Watford are going to have to do is seriously attack this team from the off. They have to go at Blackpool full barrel and no hesitation. Watford do have a habit, a bad one, of playing down to the level of their competition. So with a Hull team, for example, who is tricky, but still were mired in the bottom 3 of the table when they visited bottom 4 or so, when they visited the Vic just a few weeks ago, Watford can play, this passive football. And you can't do that at the Vic, especially on a special occasion like the Graham Taylor match day. So Watford hopefully will respect the day, but not play the occasion. And hopefully they will treat Blackpool like a team that they should be beating, not as a team to somehow be in awe of or somehow not play well against. We've seen that lately from Watford at Vicarage Road, and that's the one thing that I would be concerned about for tomorrow. Against teams that Watford are supposed to beat at home, they have been rather poor. against Coventry City, whom they lost 1-0 to at home, against Hull City, who they drew 0-0 with. Games like these are the kinds of games that Watford need if they are going to have any aspiration for automatic promotion. As we start the games tomorrow, Watford will be 16 points behind first place Burnley. And they will be 11 points behind second placed Sheffield United. Watford have 40 points on the campaign thus far, and they sit in fourth place, just 2 points behind third place Blackburn. Blackburn will get underway first. They'll have the early afternoon kickoff tomorrow. I believe they're taking on Rotherham, and that game will be the game that we will see if Blackburn will get any closer to those top 2 spots. Watford, if they win this game, could get up to third, depending on the result between Rotherham and Blackburn. And also, of course, if Watford fail to win tomorrow, they could be actually out of the playoff picture altogether at this point, based on what could happen in other results. But Watford must treat this game like a business plan. A carefully detailed, executed, and bloodless display is everything we need for this game, and nothing less. A ruthless cutting edge is required from Watford FC tomorrow, and in front of the home fans, it's a prerequisite. And in front of Graham Taylor, it's much more than that. This has been the Orns Friday Focus.